Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates, coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. We want to welcome everybody to the show today. Folks, we're starting early. We'll probably be back on the air at just after 6 p.m. this evening, but I wanted to tell you what's going on, okay? There's been a major earthquake over in Indonesia. There's been a major earthquake in Indonesia. A 7.1 magnitude earthquake has hit in Indonesia. It was out in the water. Out in the water in the Valdese. Now, up to the right, you see another earthquake. The right corner up there. I want to show you what's going on there. There's another 6.7 earthquake there. And I don't know why it's not showing here. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get it up here. Darn it. Okay, hold on a second, guys. I'm going to show you this. Maybe you have to do it a different direction here. There it is. Okay? Another 6.7. So we've had two good-sized earthquakes out here. Very large, very strong earthquakes. And, folks, all these other earthquakes are 5.0s and above. And some of the red earthquakes are moderate 4s. Okay? These constitute a bunch of earthquakes. 18 aftershocks so far. The 6.7 hit just after 8:30 or 8:02 a.m. this morning. This let me go back to this other one. This 7.1 earthquake that hit, guys, was a big deal. Okay? Let me get this up here really quick here. The 7.1 earthquake was a huge deal. Let me bring it up here. A major earthquake. Okay? This happened at 11:53 p.m. after I went to bed last night. So I didn't see it until I woke up this morning. 11:53 p.m. Then that 6.7 hit just after 8 a.m. today. I don't believe this is the end of the earthquakes in this region. I don't believe this is the end of the earthquakes in this region, guys. I believe this is just the beginning of what's happening here. Now, we may see some larger earthquakes than this. The reason I'm saying that is this. Let me show you something. Okay? Look at the helioplots. Folks, this particular helioplot is a big deal. It's a pretty big deal. This is from Hockley, Texas. Okay? A half world away from Indonesia. Recording this kind of information. This is huge. This earthquake was larger than a 7.1. I believe this was at least an 8.0. And it's still moving. As the seismic waves continue moving, I'll be monitoring it the rest of the afternoon. I should have some kind of conclusive information about how strong this earthquake was as of this afternoon. But that's Hockley, Texas. Folks, this is from Kivo, Finland. Another half the world away. All the way up into Scandinavia. And if that's not enough, folks, guess what? Let's look at Norway. This is a helioplot from Norway. Like I said, I believe this earthquake was a lot stronger than a 7.1. This is probably an 8.0 earthquake. And I will be watching and watching and watching all day long and giving you the full lowdown information after 6 p.m. today. But a 7.1 earthquake hit at 11:53 p.m. last night in the Valdese, south central Indonesia. This earthquake was felt literally around the world. Okay? The seismograms all over the world are indicating this earthquake. It wasn't necessarily felt by people, but the seismographs all around the world picked it up. With that said, there's also been another large earthquake in Texas. Over 493 people had felt this since early this morning. I believe that number is well past 500. Well past 500. Now, folks, again, I believe this is a big, huge deal. A huge, huge deal. Why am I saying that? Let me show you what I know. Look at all these earthquakes here. Folks, we've got nearly 100 aftershocks. We have nearly 100 aftershocks from this quake this morning in Texas. This happened just after 3:27 a.m. this morning in Texas. Now, 5.3. We have not seen earthquakes like this since 1987. In 1987, we've had, actually it wasn't 87, just 2 years ago, 2021, we had another 5.1 in this area, just 2 years ago. This is an oil and gas fracking operation. As you can see, there's oil and gas plots literally all over this map. You can see them. This is an oil and gas fracking operation. These earthquakes here are hitting drill points throughout this area. I honestly believe we could have up over 1,000 or more aftershocks from this earthquake. This was waiting. This was an earthquake waiting to happen. As we have pointed out to you in past programs, we've been watching this area very closely. We have pointed out swarms of earthquakes, even as of about 2 days ago. We pointed out swarms of earthquakes here in southwestern Texas. I don't believe this will be the last. Okay? I honestly don't believe this will be the last. This earthquake was felt over a wide region. A huge, wide region. Let me show you this. Look at this. To the southeast, this earthquake was felt out towards Odessa, Texas. I'm sorry, I had something went down the wrong pipe. This earthquake was felt up into Roswell, New Mexico. This earthquake is felt over into southern Colorado as well. Okay? It's incredible what is going on with our Earth. I don't believe this will be the last earthquake in this region. Over in Oklahoma, they have 586,000 drill points. In Texas, I believe it's well past that. We could have up to 1 million drill points in just Texas alone. I don't believe this will be the last of the earthquakes in Texas. Okay? This is the second in 2 years here in this area. Let me give you some more information about Texas. This is a physiographic map of Texas. Okay? Let's go over just to southwestern Texas. Let me open this up. Okay? Look at this area in Texas here. The basin. The basin is called Permian Basin. P-E-R-M-I-A-N. The Permian Basin. Okay? And a huge range here. This is a semi-mountainous range. Okay? Drill points all over this area, all over Texas. And you can see exactly what's going on. Okay? With this map, we're looking at fault lines as well. Look in the center of this map here. The Central Texas uplift. Uplift. What are we having? What are we seeing here? Uplift. Meaning there is subduction going on beneath the plate. This subduction is lifting this area of Texas, the Central Texas uplift here. Now you see several other plateaus here, different geological features with each plateau. With each plateau we also have oil and gas here. Huge oil and gas operations. Now, I want to take a look at this red area. I'm enlarging this so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay? This is an escarpment. This escarpment, folks, is an earthquake fault. The Batazuma's escarpment here, that's a huge earthquake fault running from way down here in southwestern Texas all the way up here past Dallas to the north. Okay? That is a huge earthquake fault. We have other earthquake faults as well. Now, when we look at the entire package here, we can get some appreciation for what happened here today in Texas. Okay? Again, this is a big deal in Texas. A lot of people felt it. There has been some damage, and we will cover damage reports later on this evening. But this is a big deal. Let's go over the Texas geology portion here. Okay? You see the panhandle of Texas. You see the Batazuma's escarpment, the huge earthquake fault that runs through here. Then we come over here to southwestern Texas. Remember, we've seen earthquakes over here in Pecos, Texas? These earthquakes are all over this region. Literally all over this region. It's going to continue. Folks, this is not funny. This is going to continue. As we see this move, we're going to see great movement all over the southern part of the United States and movement up into Oklahoma as well. We're going to see more and more earthquakes hit. I want to make sure everybody is ready for what is going on. This is very important. We've seen these earthquakes happen before, like I said, just 2 years ago. We reported on that one. I had friends of mine that have lived down around Odessa. We're going to see if we can talk to them this evening and bring them on the air with us to give you an idea of what happened in Texas. I have friends literally all over Texas. I'm going to try to get hold of Glenn Beck as well. As you know, Glenn Beck is a friend of mine. I haven't talked to him for a long while, but I'm going to see if we can bring him on the air as well and let him give you his analysis of what happened in Texas as well. Again, this is a big deal. There are earthquakes literally all over the world, and we've shown those to you. I have never hidden any earthquakes. The wonderful USGS has hidden a lot of earthquakes. Now, there we go. I want to show you another earthquake. This one is in Norway. We don't often see good-sized earthquakes in Norway. Usually the earthquakes in Norway that we've seen are tremors, 1.4, 1.5, 1.7, 2.2 minor earthquakes. This is a 4.6. This is a moderate 4.6 with a depth of 6.2 miles deep, 10 kilometers deep. Now guys, there was some moderate damage up here as well. There's not a lot of people that live up here in the fjord area. The fjords are all over this area. But there was some minor damage here in northern western Norway. Okay? There was some minor damage up here. Folks, it's going to happen. We have seen earthquakes all over Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, and Finland. We haven't seen them in Denmark yet. I think that's coming. Demon Catman in England. England has not seen a whole lot of earthquakes either. They've seen mostly tremors in the past, but nothing really recent. I believe that is going to happen as well. It's not going to stay that way. Notice we do not have any earthquakes in the Atlantic Basin, north or south. We had that 5.0 in the north central part of the Atlantic Basin yesterday. We're going to see more earthquakes, even possibly as later today. We're going to keep an eye on this as well. They're showing one earthquake over here in Chile. There's 22 earthquakes in Chile today. This is a 4.4 moderate quake here in Calama, Chile. 69 miles deep here. 69 miles deep. Yesterday we talked a lot about the New Madrid Fault. I want to show you something that's going on here on the New Madrid Fault today. Folks, this is a 1.5, Ridgely, Tennessee. We showed you the seismogram from Ridgely, Tennessee yesterday. There was minor tremors there just like this. There was also some 2.0s, 2.2, 2.3 earthquakes here in Ridgely, Tennessee yesterday. This is a 1.5 here today. This is over in Victoria, Arkansas. Victoria, Arkansas. This is near Jonesboro, Arkansas. Folks, this is a 1.4 magnitude tremor. 4.5 miles deep. Sign Chick just gave us a $20 super chat. Thank you so much for that. She says, thank you for all you do. I appreciate that so much, guys. God bless you all for honoring us and helping us keep this program on the air. It's incredible what it takes to keep this program on the air. When I first got on the air 4.5 years ago, over 4.5 years ago now, it was April 3rd, 2019 when I got on the air. And since then, all heck has broken loose all over the globe, literally. But what I thought I could just get on the air and it wouldn't be a big deal. What I found, it costs money to keep this program on the air. It costs money, it costs time. And I appreciate all of you who help support me in this endeavor. Now, this earthquake in Texas, let's go almost straight north. Segundo, Colorado. Segundo, Colorado, guys. This is a 2.0 earthquake. Now, it's not, I don't believe it's anything related to the earthquake in Texas. I do believe it's related to seismic energy coming down the fault line, the Rocky Mountains. Okay? Let me back this out. Let me show you why I believe that. Look where the Rocky Mountains start. Way up here in northern Canada. All the way through northern Canada. We also have seismic energy coming out over in Montana and the Wyoming area. And it filters down here. It filters down here through the Rocky Mountains. Okay? Even down here into El Segundo. But what you need to know about El Segundo, let's try to zoom in here and see if they'll give us any topography showing what is going on here in the El Segundo area. Look at this. There's faulting going on. Look what's going on. This is a fault line. Like I said, the fault line continues all the way from northern Canada and comes down here. This is right on a fault line. Raul Perez has put up a chat here in Spanish. Raul, I would ask you to put that in English. We don't speak anything but English in this chat room. So please, Raul, make that in English for us, please. We would appreciate that very much. Okay? Raul, if you want to chat, please put it in English. Okay? English only. Anyway, guys, I want to show you this. I think it's important to understand what we're seeing. Now, we have seen minor earthquakes even as far north as Denver and north of Denver as well. Okay? Even during my time when I used to live in Littleton, Colorado, we've seen minor earthquakes happening up and down through the Rocky Mountains. Okay? Rocky Mountains are a big deal. They're a huge deal. We're going to see increasing earthquakes in the Rocky Mountain area. Rocky Mountain National Park is just northeast of Denver. Okay? This whole area is affected by what is going on here in the Rocky Mountains. Seismic energy is filtering down even through northern Canada all the way down here. Now, I will try to back that up with seismic information out of Canada tonight. I will try to put up a Canadian earthquake map showing you seismic energy up there in northern Canada. There's plenty of it. USGS doesn't show it, but there's plenty of information to know what's going on. Now, one other thing, and then I will let you go. Coalinga, California. Coalinga, California, guys. We've had swarms of earthquakes. This is the geysers here. Let's go up to Coalinga, California. This is brook trails in California here. But Coalinga, California has been having swarms of earthquakes. Let me show you what is going on. USGS is not even covering it, which is sad. It's very sad. second, I'll show it to you. I thought I had it already in my software here. Where'd it go? Right here. In Coalinga, California here, guys. Again, this is a big deal. Last time we had an earthquake here in this area in Coalinga, California was 1987. Coalinga had a 6.7 earthquake then. All we have is a swarm of 6 minor earthquakes and tremors there in Coalinga today. All these earthquakes have occurred within the past few hours. Okay? Within the past few hours. But folks, let me tell you this. I believe we're going to see a very strong earthquake here in Coalinga. As we have told you before, we've shown it to you, we've proven it to you over the years that we've been on the air. When we get swarms of earthquakes, we usually get a larger earthquake to back it up. Swarms of earthquakes lead to larger, shallower earthquakes. Swarms of earthquakes lead to larger, shallower earthquakes. It happens. It happens all the time. So we're going to be monitoring what's going on in Coalinga. We could dare see another 6.0 here in Coalinga or larger. That would devastate this region. A 6.7 is a very strong earthquake. USGS calls it a very strong earthquake. It'll cause a lot of damage. It could actually kill people. That alleged 7.1 over in the Valdese today, if that hit on land, it would have devastated that area. Instead of seeing possibly shaking being felt, some kind of shaking being felt in the surrounding islands in the Valdese, we could be seeing fatalities and injuries over there in Indonesia. That's not the case. For the most part, the seismic energy around the 7.1 earthquake over there in the Valdese was absorbed by the water of the ocean, of the Valdese. There is some idea that the islands in that area, in fact, let me bring that up here. The islands in this area may have felt some kind of movement. This was a very large, major earthquake. Now, there's another thing going on with this quake, and I want to make it very clear what has happened. There have been people here on YouTube and other people in social media saying there was a tsunami related to this earthquake. There was not. There was absolutely no tsunami related to this earthquake. You can see what the agency did with this earthquake. They downgraded it to a 6.9. It's not a 6.9. It's not anything like that. I showed you helioplots showing a much larger earthquake. But you see there's no tsunami warning or advisory, watch, or even a threat. I went through all of the indications. I went through all the media here. When they do this notification, they have literally 5 or 6 other notifications that they put up showing there's no threat anywhere to Alaska, Canada, or the United States, to Hawaii, to South America, down into the islands of the Pacific, into Samoa, Tonga, and Fiji area. Even west into Thailand and Vietnam. There's no tsunami threat at all. However, let me show you this. You ought to see what I found when I did some digging. The National Buoy Center, guys. The National Buoy Center has 2 buoys that are going on. Hold on. They have 2 buoys going on down there, one in the Valdese Sea and one out in the Fiji area. As soon as this cycles in here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay? See this over here? It actually wasn't Fiji. It's over here in the Solomon Islands and the Loyalty Islands in the Coral Sea. One tsunami buoy going off there. Then over here in the Valdese Sea, actually not even the Valdese Sea, this body of water just northwest of Australia here. Okay? This is also going on. Look at this. This is the displacement. This is the displacement where this buoy is. There is a column water height here. It's moving. It's definitely moving in this area. Let's look at this one over here. It's moving over here. We may be seeing in this area another very strong earthquake here. Or maybe it's already happened and they have not reported this. Okay? Ellen Hughes says, you're early this evening, Ron. No, I'm early because I'm going to be doing 2 programs. I'm doing a program now, and I'll be doing a program later this evening. Okay? Ellen Hughes is here in the chat. Yes, I do come on the air at sporadic times when there are emergency situations around the globe. I always have and I always will. Yes, this earthquake here in the Valdese Sea, the 7.1 that they're talking about, happened last night. I was in La La Land in bed asleep. I did not hear the notifications going on. But I'm here now. I'm talking about it. Nobody else is talking about this. Nobody else is talking about these tsunami buoys going on. One on either side of Australia. One in the Coral Sea, and this one out here in the Wharton Basin. The Wharton Basin out here in the Indian Ocean. This is an unusual situation. I don't think we've ever seen an area where we've had an earthquake and on the opposite side of the area we have another. Both showing water height differentiations. The tsunami buoy going up and down, basically. It is a big deal. Now, as we get more information, we'll pass it on to you. That I can promise you. Garrett Strong, I would appreciate you talking about what we're talking about here. I understand. Garrett Strong is in the chat, guys, for those of you that are just listening to this program. Garrett Strong is talking about a scripture in Luke 20, chapter 21, verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. I understand that. Tonight we'll be talking more about Israel. I can promise you that. We talk about Israel all the time. If you guys notice in our program description, in the program description it says, remember Israel in your prayers. I stand by that. But folks, please keep your comments as to what we're talking about here. This is very important information. All of the world needs to hear about it. I don't come on the air and ratchet my jaws. I just don't do that. I come on the air for a reason, to give out important information. Yes, I will be talking about Israel later, as well as all these earthquakes and even more information later. So be advised. We will be on just after 6 p.m. today. Don't forget, we've had at least a 7.1 earthquake. I believe this is more like an 8.0 earthquake, judging by what I've shown you today. For example, this heliopod. That is a lot of information there. This is showing you that this was a much larger earthquake. Even this heliopod here. The other one's from Scandinavia. This one is from Texas, a far distant area away from the earthquake. I could have shown you magnificent heliopods from Australia, nearly blacking out the entire graph. That can happen when we have an earthquake in that region. But I'm trying to show you other heliopods to give you a better idea how strong these earthquakes were. That's my whole point here. I'm trying to give you information that you can use to make your own decisions on what is going on. These are important times. I pointed out before that one of the reasons we get hit all the time here in Indonesia is because there are 7 different plates. 7 different plates in Indonesia. Let's go back down to the USGS map really quickly. Let's go down here to Indonesia, this whole area. There are 7 different plates, 7 different tectonic plates, one subducting under the other. The big one here is in the Asia-Australia plate. That's the biggest one. Then these other plates all over here throughout Indonesia. Okay? Rarely does the USGS give us real information about what's happening here in Indonesia. They rarely show all the earthquakes that are going on. I pointed this out before. I pointed this out a lot over the years. Rarely do they ever show exactly what's truly going on. I've tried to show it every time we've been on the air. Literally every time. Let me show you something in Indonesia. I want to show you this to give you a good idea of what exactly is going on. Look at the earthquakes in Indonesia. They're not even showing everything that's going on. Okay? They're not even showing you exactly what's happening. Why? Inquiring minds want to know. Okay? Over in Papua, Indonesia, we have a 5.0 large earthquake there. And not just that. There's a 4.0 aftershock as well. And that other earthquake off to the east there, it's a 2.8, and that very may well be related to this earthquake as well. It's a 2.8 magnitude earthquake, a minor earthquake there. That can be related to the 5.0 as well. But they're not even telling us exactly what's going on here. Inquiring minds want to know. They're showing 20 plus earthquakes right there. Okay? There's about 50 earthquakes there now. But they're not showing anything else going on. Why not? Why not? They should be. They should be telling us everything going on there in Indonesia, even up there into Sumatra. Okay? They're not showing that. They're showing one earthquake down in the Indian Ocean, southwest of Sumatra. That's a 5.0 there. They're just showing you that one. Again, I'm going to relate a story of what exactly has happened down here in Indonesia. A few years ago, we had a young woman that messaged me and wanted me to explain why that the earthquakes were hitting in Indonesia. There's 7 different tectonic plates in movement here. One plate subducting under the other here in Indonesia. Subduction. We're going to have earthquakes here every day. It's not like other places like China. It's not other places like China and even the Middle East. Okay? They've had their share of earthquakes as well. But USGS is not going to show that, are they? They're not. We have some earthquakes over here in Western China here. I'm surprised we have these. Okay? Because China rarely ever talks about this. But this is a plate edge here in China. This is a huge earthquake fault. That's why we have these earthquakes. These are 4s here. That's a 4.1. That's a 5.3 here. 4.3 and another 4.6. Okay? I believe we talked about that yesterday. Okay? But over here, they're not showing anything but this one over here. Okay? It's on the edge of the Caspian Sea here. A 4.4 earthquake here. But they're not showing all the earthquakes that have hit here. Okay? They're showing an earthquake over here in southwestern Turkey. A 4.4. That's very interesting. That's hugely interesting. Okay? Because there's probably 20 earthquakes just in Turkey alone. And that's not including what we're seeing over here. There's probably 40 earthquakes over here along the Turkey-Syrian border as a result of a major earthquake that hit here earlier this year. A 9.0, 10.0 earthquake. They tried to pawn it off as a 7.4. It was a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake. A huge canyon, a fissure, opened up here in Turkey, 15 or 16 miles long, as a result of that 9.0, 10.0 earthquake. That does not happen with a 7.4 earthquake. Okay? A 7.4 earthquake is bad enough. But these people had a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake, and they're still getting shaken today. The shaking's going to go on for years as a result of those major earthquakes that hit here earlier this year. Okay? It's going to continue. It's not going to stop. This 4.4 earthquake in southwestern Turkey, it's just one among many. Going further north, Marmara, Turkey up here, of 4.1. Greece continues to get hit. This is a 4.5 here on the western side of Greece here, northwestern side of Greece. A 4.5 near Paramethea, Greece. It's 14 miles deep. 14 miles deep. Now, they have frozen my USGS map, and I'll bring it back later. We don't need to go into any more information here right now about the earthquakes around the globe at this point in time. We'll talk about that later. But folks, this is going on. It's going to continue. Do you have any questions for me? I want to make sure I don't leave any questions unanswered as a result of these earthquakes, either in Indonesia or in Texas today. Ellen Hughes says she's getting buffering over there in England. Hurricane Heather, we really appreciate you being here as well. Hurricane Heather, we're still praying for you. Last night, I put up prayers here for you, and we appreciate you and your friendship and love and companionship you've given to all of us. Okay? Carl Smith is saying, so Glenn Beck and who else? I don't know. I'm going to try to contact Glenn and see if we can get him on the air. We'll see. We'll see. Now, folks, one of our own is going to go and get an MRI. Rob 52 is here in our chat. He's one of my dearest friends, and he is a mod here on this program. He's going to go to his doctor to get an MRI. We need to put him up in prayer as well. Have a good day, Rob. Drive carefully. I talked to him right before we went on the air. He told me he would be probably having to leave before this program was done. We're about to get off here. Grace for Purposes, thank you for covering Texas. Many prayers, Sister Heather. Absolutely. Folks, we're going to give you an update on Texas. We'll give you an update on what's happening in Indonesia, what's happening over in the Pacific Northwest, and what's happening over on the East Coast tonight. We'll pull more earthquakes on the East Coast to give you an updated version of what we were going to talk about last night when we ran out of time. Folks, I love each and every one of you, or I would not even be doing this. I believe it's absolutely necessary that we help each other. I believe it's an absolute necessity that we put up this information for all of you. We are trying to protect everybody. We're trying to give you information that you can use to protect you and your family. That is most important here. That's why we're here. Okay? That's always going to be the case. I don't come on this air just to jack my jowls. I try to give you good information. Don Patoka says there's an explosion fire in San Jacinto County, Texas. We'll have more information on that as well. And I appreciate that, Don. Thank you so much for putting that up. It's a chemical plant explosion fire. It's a huge deal. So anyway, we'll give you more information about that. We'll give you more information about these quakes as well. I hope you have a good rest of the day, guys. Be safe whatever you do. Heather, take care. Get things taken care of. We love you. We appreciate you. And we also need you here. We appreciate all that you do, Heather. God bless you. God bless Don. God bless Rob. God bless Roxy for being here. Carolyn, thank you so much for what you do. Carolyn Martin is my dear friend in Denver. We appreciate her so much. It's not funny. I've known Carolyn for 20-some years. She's a very, very dear friend. And I honestly don't know if I would even be here today if it wasn't for her friendship from years ago. She is the one that kept telling me a long time ago that I needed to be getting information out. And that's one reason why we're doing that. I want to thank Sign Chick for giving us that $20 super chat. That's very much appreciated. All of your super chats, all of your donations to our Venmo and our PayPal locations are very appreciated. Those two PayPal locations and the Venmo location are located just below this video here in the top of the program description. You also can send us cards and letters and support to our post office box, P.O. Box 422, Valdese, V-A-L-D-E-S-C, V-A-L-D-E-S-C, North Carolina. Zip code is 28690. I hope to see you guys here later this evening, just after 6 p.m. for a continuation of Emergency Management Associates. Thank you for being here, guys. God bless you. Thank you, Laura, for being here from Oregon. We appreciate you so much. Laura's also a dear friend. I've known her for more years than I want to talk about. She's a very, very close friend of mine. Have a good day, folks. We will see you on the other side of forever. See you this evening. Good night, everybody. Good day. Enjoy.